Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into the show today. Now, today's episode, we're ready to wrap up the month of May, but before we do, we must, as always, do the Q&A. So you know the deal. The riddler goes up, you drop your questions down below, and we take them in the order they came in. We've got everything from Bank of America finally getting competitive, what can Chase do to be great again, and who was the worst president of all time? You'll never guess who asked that one. So all that and more, we go along here, so chapters, tools down below, hop around as your heart desires. But of course, go ahead, press the subscribe button, and let's get to work. So batting leadoff, we have like 13 questions in one. From Kari Dude here, he says, what would be some example purchases that people would use the catch-all spend for cards like Quicksilver, Venture X? I'm literally anything that doesn't have a better multiplier. So I just came back from the dealership the other day, and it was like $2,100 because my car is fragile, and I use my Smartly card at 4x back, right? I don't have a better one for automotive. It could be anything that doesn't have a better category. Normally, gas, groceries, travel, internet, things like that have dedicated cards. But if you don't have one or you don't know how it's going to code, then you can drop down to your catch-all card. The 2x cards usually are the ones that they cover that you would use for that. But it can be literally anything that you don't have a better multiplier for, a better way to get. They would enable a better multiplier. So he's asking about, all right, so that was a recap of last time. All right, so he's basically between these top two spend categories, do you think more people spend in groceries or gas? I would probably guess groceries unless you work very far away or just like to drive. Everyone tells me the price of groceries has gone up. I've never really paid attention to it, not in like a bougie way, just more so I don't eat that much food. It's just I like to eat food, but I buy the same things every time, like eggs, egg whites, turkey, bread, cheese, apples, like that's it. But I imagine if you like to actually cook full dinners, then you're probably spending a ton of money on groceries. I eat a lot of protein shakes and protein powders just simply because I won't cook. So, but I would imagine it's groceries, especially if you start adding in families and kids. I don't even think it'd be close unless you work really far. But even then. How would you compare the Wells Fargo autograph, the free one versus Sapphire Preferred? I'd probably lean I would lean autograph unless you needed rental car coverage consistently. But I prefer higher multipliers. The only thing propping up the Sapphire Preferred is the fact that it's easy to earn Chase points, and you can have the supporting cast around it, and then that unlocks transfer partners if you want to. But if you're not going to partner the Sapphire Preferred with a bunch of Freedoms and Freedom Unlimiteds and Ink cards, then it's really only good for its travel insurances. They're pretty good, and then CDW is the one that primary CDW stands out. For me, I take the autograph because it's got a lot more 3x multipliers while you're on the road. Chase, the multipliers on the Sapphire Preferred don't really stand out. I would comp it better to the autograph Journey, but you didn't ask about. So I know the Wells Fargo autograph Journey has $95, but hopefully you get my question. I'm getting it that you're asking about the free one, so I'm not bringing in the Journey, which is the one I want. I would still go Journey over Sapphire Preferred. I prefer higher multipliers than lower multipliers, but that's just me. Would you consider the Freedom Flex paired with Sapphire Preferred a hybrid of Wells Fargo autograph? Kind of, sort of. They do both have, cell phone protection there, but it gets you close. But it gets you close. I would still, if I had to do both of those, I would take the autograph because I don't want to pay the $95 annual fee of the Sapphire Preferred. Really, Sapphire Preferred is not a terrible card. It's just a meh card, and it's really stuck in Chase's lineup because the free cards and the Unlimited and the Flex are pretty good given what you get for free. So it's kind of stuck, and it can't be any better because then it's pushing up against the Sapphire Reserve, which is $550, rumored to be going to almost $800. So that's really my complaint with the Sapphire Preferred. Multipliers are weak. It's not bad for what it is, again, for the insurances, but if you're talking about a pair, I would probably still take the autograph. But yeah, you could say it's a hybrid version. I still think autograph is better on its own. Again, I'm big on Wells Fargo, though. Would you consider U.S. Bank relationship type bank similar to how Bank of America is because of the Preferred Rewards program? No, they had a chance and they fell flat on their face, or they got scared and backed out of it. U.S. Bank and the Smartly program could have made them a relationship. So every bank's going to tell you they're a relationship bank, right? Come start a relationship with us. That doesn't mean anything. It's a sales thing, right? Bank of America I count as a relationship bank because I get something in exchange for giving you more money, right? You smartly is still in place, but at the same time, they decided to say, hey, 100 grand in the checking account. People will do it. More people than you think will do it. More people than you think have hundreds of thousands of dollars sitting in their checking account without fail. But to me, no, because your value prop is all wrong. So no, I don't think they're a relationship bank in the least bit. They had a chance. Originally, I thought they were going to expand smartly to other products. Now I doubt that is going to happen. So no. If you're trying to get the Wells Fargo Duo, which card should come first? Autograph, no annual fee, or active cash. Also, which these would be better? I would go after whichever one has the higher payout intro offer. So probably the autograph gets as high as like $300 or $400. I think it's $300. I think that's what I got. Active cash is usually around $200. So I'd go with the higher one just to lock in the money. Unless you have absolutely no credit cards, then maybe start with the active cash so that you can get 2% back on everything while you start to build up your collection. Because again, a Wells Fargo is every 6 months between intro offers, so that's going to be tough. But they're so close. Unless you have no cards, I'd go with the active cash. But it'd be much easier to just get the autograph and then get a double cash to hold you over on everything else until you can get back into get your 2% card. So I'd play it like that. Last one, I had applied for a Wells Fargo After Cash a few months ago, but was declined. Would you consider that dodging a bullet? I'm asking because a lot of people seem to disapprove of Wells Fargo. No, I like Wells Fargo. I'm actively trying to get in there. I just opened a business checking account, deposited 25 grand for a bonus. I opened a personal checking account. Of course, they just moved the offer up to $400 after I did. And I like the autograph card, and I really like the Journey card. I've applied twice for it. I've just been denied. I want it, and just can't get it. There's a group of people who's never going to forgive Wells Fargo, and that's totally fair. I can tell you people say they're mad at Wells Fargo, but the numbers say otherwise because Wells Fargo is still in the Power 5 of banking. I think they're like number 3. Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citi, U.S. Bank. I think that's the order in the States. And so for that many people who were affected and people who knew each other and saw the story, well, everyone should have pulled their money and their assets and should have just plummeted them down the list. But that didn't happen. So unless someone's actually like, hey, I was a customer and I left, I don't really want their opinion, or I'm a customer and I stayed, here's why. I don't put as much weight on your opinion because I can see what happened, right? They stayed, right? They didn't move that much. There was movement, but not nearly as much as you would think given what they did. That, and you can find someone at any bank who hates them, just like you can find someone at any bank who loves them. It just really depends on how it went for you. So I'm trying to get more of their stuff. I don't have a problem with them. I understand the people who do, but it's kind of up to you, really. Chase does something every so often that annoys me. Ally, they all do. It's impossible to find a good bank, really, that cares. This is going to care about customer service, I would say. So if you like their products and it works for you, you like their user interface, I would say do it. Never commit everything you have to one bank, of course, and that's the best advice you can get. Sure, use Wells Fargo, but also put money in Citi or your local credit union or something, so you're not 100% committed to one spot. So there you go. I think I got you everything rapid fire. First 10 minutes of the show belong to you, sir. Moving right along, Polygraph Zone. I saw BOA has some new sign-up bonuses on their existing cards. That is true. Is this a sign that they may offer some new and more valuable or exciting credit card products? He had a BOA card since '99, so I'm stuck with him as my oldest. Would love to product change to a different card. So I was able to change my unlimited cash card to another customized cash. And it went easier than I thought because everything I read had me thinking that it was going to be difficult. But I called in for something else and I was like, hey, well, while I'm here, can I do this? And he said, absolutely. I didn't need it anymore now that I had the Smartly card. So give him a call and see, because you might be able to. As far as do I think they're going to come out with anything else? No. I just don't think they care. I think they have their cards. They kind of begrudgingly came out with a premium elite card or whatever that metal one was, because why not have something at the $550 end if everyone's going to do it? But I think sometimes they do this promotion that's like double cash back, a bonus cash back. It's sometime in July. I assume this new promotional offer that they have is just replacing that one. We'll do a video on it on Run on the Bank, the second channel where we focus on bank promotions. The customized cash offer is good because basically you still get the $200 intro offer for $1,000 in spend, and then that that 3X category goes up to 6X for your first year. Now, the spend cap of $2,500 per quarter is still in place, but that's a really good offer given it's a free card. The unlimited cash still gets a $200 offer, and it only goes up to 2%. Which is silly, I think, is like, why is one going up so much higher than the other? Clearly, they want to push you to one over the other. I'm guessing they think you'll do more damage long term on a 2% card than you would on a category card because you probably won't remember what categories you picked. That's my guess. But no, I mean, they're really good offers. I would get one. I might try to get another one, honestly, if I can. But I don't think Bank of America has any interest in being competitive. They used to have more versions of the customized cash. I could see them maybe trying to add some co-branded stuff. So they did clean up the co-branded catalog a while back, but I don't really see them coming out with anything else because they kind of have it. You have your entry-level cards, you have your category card, you have your travel stuff. They could do something dining related, probably, and entertainment related if they wanted to kind of try to compete against Capital One, but they kind of just want you to select that as a category on the customized cash card. And the reason their cards get better is because you give them more money. So I think that's their play, and they're not really looking to do anything else. All right, Red Sox Nation, here we go. In your humble opinion, who is the worst president ever? He says Carter, Biden, Barack Hussein, in all capitals, Obama. I don't know. The reason I don't know is because I don't really pay attention to it. You got to remember, I pay attention to the Trump stuff because I find him entertaining. I don't really know his policies and stuff. The things he, like, just the headlines, I'm going to accept a $400 million plane. Like, that's entertaining to me. I know it's upsetting to some of you how unserious I take it, but I answer every question and I answer it honestly. So who's the worst? I mean, I know why you listed these people. Like, I don't think Biden was bad. I think Biden did his job. His job was to sit in the chair for 4 years until the other side could make a run with whoever they wanted. Like, I think it's been widely acknowledged. Like, he was supposed to do 4 years and get out and not touch a whole lot of things. Like, so from that lens, he did what he was supposed to do. So fine. Obama, I don't know if he was terrible. I mean, I agree with everything he did, no, but I think he tried, You can't. The commenters are going to say it's Trump, and it's not Trump, and it's not even fair to put that because he's not done yet. We don't know because it's not finished. This is the same way people want to make LeBron James the GOAT, or LeBron James worse than Michael Jordan. We don't know because he's not done yet, and one of them is. So let's let him finish and see what happens. You also forget that he was doing pretty well until COVID happened. After that, it kind of fell apart, but he was doing pretty well. I looked this up, and people seem to think it was Buchanan, or I think Andrew Johnson was on the list as well. So I guess it's probably one of them. I think, we're very reactionary, and, we like to say it's the most recent ones, but I mean, people didn't like the second Bush, and now we kind of do. So I don't know. It's a fun question. It's a good question. I'm not qualified to answer it. I know why you listed those guys. I'll let you duke it out in the comments over that. But I guess I'm going to go with what the historians say. And it says either Andrew Johnson or Buchanan. I don't even know why. It's just I saw that on Google a lot, so I'm going to go with that. Good question, though. I appreciate you trying. And now I'm going to get yelled at by a bunch of commenters about why did you talk politics in the Q&A. So thank you for that. This is what I do for you, though, sir. All right. Doc says, which credit card do you think is the best looking because looks matter? Looks do matter. I agree with you. Give me a minute. You know what the answer is? It's the limited edition Delta cards. Like the one that was made out of an actual Boeing. The black one, of course. But the white one's no sleeper either. Like those were limited edition cards done right. I think those are the best, the coolest cards. Did you really think I was going to say the Amex Scribble card? No. The Platinum card, the Vanilla Platinum, the Vanilla Gold aren't bad either. Those do look good. Of course, the Centurion card, but we're never really going to get one. So, I think the Smartly card looked pretty good. I mean, it's black. I like the U.S. Bank design on it. But without a doubt, I think it's the limited edition Delta cards. Those were done very well. That's a sharp card. I don't know if we've seen anything else like it, so I'm going to go with those. Let me know what you think I should have picked. Ben LaTempa, it has been a while. Good to see you again. He got a player too, so he got married, or a girlfriend at least. Congratulations, sir. It's kind of against what we do here, but as far as sitting alone talking to ourselves, carried away here. But anyways, so now he's traveling more. You see that lifestyle creep, man, trying to keep him happy. One girlfriend just taking you everywhere. So anyways, he's been rethinking his credit card strategy. He's always been team cashback, but the Venture X is starting to look pretty compelling, at least for 1 year. Would you say it's worth making the jump? Yeah, I would. Why not? I think the Venture X is the last travel. Now with the Altitude Reserve card gone, I think the Venture X is one of the last reasonable flagship travel cards. The Sapphire Reserve is never recovered from that 550 fee, and there's rumors going to go up. I want to like the Platinum card, but I guess every time I get it, I'm just like, I don't. I want to like it, but I don't. Especially, I don't know where you're flying out of, but like if you're flying out of a place with a Capital One lounge, even better. But I think the Venture X and the Saver pairing is classic. Now, just the thing to think about with the card is Capital One has built it up, so you're primarily supposed to go through their travel portal to get the best, multipliers and things like that. So as long as you don't mind booking things through a travel portal versus booking, you book directly, you just get like 2x back, right? So as long as you don't mind going through the travel portal to take advantage of that if you want the multipliers, then, I think that's fine. I think they even have a really high offer on the Venture X Business Platinum business version. It takes a ton of spend, but anyways, I'm a fan of Venture X. If you do everything right, though, you come out ahead by like $5 at the end of it. But I think it's a well thought out card, from the rental status that you get, and you get more points booking your rentals through their portal again. Normally, status doesn't carry over through travel portals. It's simple, it's easy to use. It's a very good looking card to our last question. I just still can't put it over the limited edition Delta card, but it is a very good looking card as well. So yeah, plus, like you said, year number 1 is a perfect time to try it out and see if you like it, see how you like the Capital One lounges. I liked the Capital One lounges when I went. I thought it was the right amount of fancy. A lot of these places, I feel like they're almost trying too hard, because like the lounge is trying hard, but then you got a bunch of people walking around in sweats and airport clothes, which I've never really understood. None of it fits. One's like, yeah, it's a nice place. It's like going to, I don't know, a decent Coney Island or something. It's nice. The food is nice. We're not overly fancy. So I like it. I would support that. I think I have to say this. I have a link for the Venture X on the website if you're interested. I don't know what the offer is, but you can check it out. I would appreciate it. But yeah, I like the Venture X. QC, man, let's pretend for a moment you were team travel guy for your credit cards. From that perspective, what do you think about the proposed Sapphire Reserve changes? Do you think the coupons are practical for the average person? Okay, that was probably a weird edit, but I had to look up the benefits. I forgot. I'll put them on screen for you. But so do I think there's a benefit here for the average person? I think the average person could use them. The 200, I don't know what's on Apple TV Plus and Apple Music, but that one probably jumps out as the one that someone could use very easily. It's $250. Peloton, they've been pushing that forever. I don't think the average person's got a Peloton. I do understand you can get the video version of it. You don't have to have the equipment. Maybe. I think the average person does worse because the $300 travel credit was so easy to use. I don't think this is aimed at the average person anymore, though, to your question. I don't think they want that, really. So can people use these? Yeah, people can use these. DoorDash credit. I think we might be the only ones who kind of hate these food delivery services. People are using them, but at least I like that you get the membership plus you get the credit. If I was team travel, I would go back down to the Venture X before it becomes a coupon book as well, like the last guy wanted, because there's different types of travelers, and I think these are made for the I don't know if I'd use the word bougie, but not like us travelers, and not even like realistic travelers. There's actually not even a lot here that I think benefits travel until you get to spending $75,000. If you think about it from a travel perspective, there's really not. Because your StubHub, you're probably going to venues, at your home, your home area, DoorDash, sure, they could deliver food to a hotel or something, but Lyft kind of, but everyone's not going everywhere all the time. So I don't think they actually benefit a traveler that much, because they're reducing the travel multiplier. So no, I don't. Now that I look at it again and think about it, it doesn't start benefiting you until you spend $75,000, and that's if you fly Southwest and like IHG. So no, I don't think they're particularly good for a travel person. even not being us. I think they're they're trying to blend the line of you can travel with it, but it still works if you're not traveling, which I think is what a lot of places have struggled with over the years. So I guess it took us a long time to get to that answer, but that's my answer. It's not really so much for travel. It's like occasional travel, some benefits if you spend a ton of money, but I want you to be able to use these all the time. That's my take on it. 50 grand here. Exactly who are the millennials and who are the Gen Z groups that are supposedly making Amex very profitable these days? And why don't we hear about these same generational groups being profitable for Chase, Bank of America, Wells, and other credit card companies? Well, I think Amex has done a good job with their marketing, their branding. We like to say, it's value. It's either positive or negative or neutral value, and you can easily calculated because math is quantifiable and math doesn't have an opinion. 2 plus 2 will always be 4 no matter what president you voted for, right? But they know that, so they're good at saying, hey, well, I'm going to make this card a well-designed card. The platinum, the gold are nice cards. The rose gold thing took off. The white gold thing seems popular. The Delta limited edition ones, right? That stuff, it shouldn't matter, but it does matter. When I tell people when they find out what I do, they're like, yeah, but do you have Amex cards? No one's ever asked me if I have Chase or Bank of America cards. I think my Bank of America cards are far more impressive, but they don't. So I think it's a combination of stuff like that. They've really positioned themselves as the ones, the adventure, travel, go out type cards. They've also lowered their standards considerably because these used to be charge cards, and they still kind of are, but I can tell you someone with affiliate links, we're not supposed to say charge card anymore. We're supposed to say like card with flexible spending limit or something like that. I think I can't remember exactly the wording, which is probably why I'm bad at selling cards, but because now they have the pay as you go features and all the plans and this, that, and the other, and that made them a lot more approachable. Previously, having to pay your bill in full like that concerned people, because I'd get that question like, but don't you have to pay it every month? Well, yes, but I'm just, that's the average person. So they've done a lot of changes like that to help, and then they're focused on, not just millennials and Gen Zers, but like the ones on the coast. So like to the last question, what Chase is doing, here in Michigan, we're the home of Legacy Auto. People still Uber and Lyft places, but like not as crazy as like if you were living on the coast where you do it all the time. Like the airport's 20 minutes from my house. It's cheaper as someone who owns a car to parking garage at the airport for like 4 days versus from here and there and back with an Uber. Or like, even if it's close, like Ty goes to the runner inconvenience after I, have to tip you $5 or you'll tank my score on the app or whatever, so but places like that use these services, all the time. And I think that's kind of how they did it. I think it's through the branding, through lowering the standards. And I do think the millennial and Gen Z group is probably older than we think now. And, we kind of think of them as folks without that much money. How are they affording them? But again, I do think they lowered their standards again internally. So I see one more video that says, I'm 20 and got the platinum card. Yeah, they sell them to everybody, man. It's just your purchase power, right? So I'm going to say they also tweak the algorithm as well internally and put up more risks and controls in place, as well. But I don't get how they skipping over other banks, but you're also talking about people who aren't credit card people. They're like experiencing going out people and eating out, dining out, things like that. They're not looking for the highest multipliers. I've tried this with my younger brother all the time and tell him like, no, you want this card, this card, this card. He's like, yeah, but I want my platinum card. And like, he doesn't even really know how to use the points. He called me the other day. He's like, how do I use the points to book this thing on Delta? So I don't know if it's like a direct answer to your question, but I think that's how they've done it, because through the product, through the marketing, through lowering of their standards and their algorithm. And it's also probably why they've tightened up some of their churning deals as well to, save money for the folks who actually will use the products the way they want. We've seen them really constrict, how you can move up through the product family, right? So really trying to force you through a funnel, they've really set it up so you're supposed to get the platinum. Those are what the large offers are for. So that's my guess. I don't always understand it, but I guess I can kind of understand it, if that makes sense. Next up, why not get another business platinum? I hear you can get another bonus. You can, and if you don't have to rely on a Quest sponsorship. Well, thank you for watching the last video. I do try to make some when I go out as travel, just as another perspective or another topic. I like Quest bars, and Quest doesn't sponsor me, and I was eating like tons of Quest bars on the road. If you didn't see the last video, but. I mean, I probably will, because you're talking about like no lifetime language offers, and I was talking to a channel member about this the other day. For whatever reason, American Express seems really game on the business side of things. Like they seem like they will sign you up for whatever, and they keep sending you offers. I kept getting approved for business cards. I did the platinum and the gold and the blue business plus. When they won't approve me for a personal card, well, I get pop-up jailed over there. I'm just not looking for one right now, to answer your question. So if they sent me one, no lifetime language, and it was like 200,000 MR points again, like yes, I would begrudgingly do it. I want to like the card. I really do. Because again, to the last question, it is a nice card. It would be nice to have access to the lounges and things like that. But I just don't like the card, and I can't be bothered to deal with any of the coupons. I think the only one I really used was a cell phone credit, and I was starting to buy Hilton gift cards at the end, but right now I went on a run last year, as we'll talk about in this next question, I think, and or last 2 years ago. So I guess now I'm not so much concerned about 524 from a chase perspective, but I do want to get my last cards to round out my lineup, which means again the autograph journey I need a new Cash Plus because I turned my Cash Plus into the Smartly card. I would like another customized Bank of America card, another customized cash one. I would like another custom cash one. I want to turn one of them into a dedicated home improvement card. I want another Discover card. I can have one more. So there's a lot of cards that I want to help bolster the lineup and like really, I don't know if you're ever done in this game, but those are the ones where I'm like, if I had those, I've got 5% on just about everything, and everything else is really gold plating at that point. But I keep getting denied. I haven't been approved for a single thing this year, which is fair. So that should turn around next year when a lot of these roll off, even maybe potentially later this year. So that's what I'm looking for. I know Business Platinum wouldn't post to personal credit, but that's kind of what I've been focused on. And it's, again, probably just because I just hate dealing with Amex stuff. I want to like them. My real business checking account is an American Express account. I just can't get behind it. I want to, but I can't. So to answer your question, I will at some point for sure, because I'll run out of things to do. NS here, what are your thoughts on glory runs with credit cards? I could just about justify this Charles Schwab Platinum with the elevated offer, but I don't really need it. But it could be the last chance to even have a Platinum before speculative annual fee increases. So I think when you like glory run, you mean just like going up and signing up for a bunch of stuff? In that case, I've done that. I mean, this is how I have like the Huntington card and the Rocket Mortgage card and the Venmo card. Like, I'll sign up for anything I get my hands on. On the second channel, we did a video about what you're talking about. We focused on the Schwab Investor card. That was $300 offer. I would have definitely signed up for that on my run. But again, as we said the last question, I'm trying to get it to I can get approved for the stuff I need. So I withheld. You should be proud of me. Restraint. But I have no problem going on runs. I think that runs can be super helpful. Since we're already long here, last year, like my project in life off of video was this house, and like I didn't build it myself, but it was a new build, and I just happened to stumble across it. And the thing about it is like it fit into the budget. It was like $350,000, so you're talking about a $2,700 a month payment, which is fine. I'm just saying this because it's a numbers channel. But the thing about it is that new builds vary, and sometimes they come with stuff, sometimes they don't. So there's no landscaping here. There were no appliances. There's no garage door opener. There's no window treatments. They're blinds, but after I learned they're called window treatments because reasons. The point being, buying it was fine, but then you're still talking about another 10. Well, even like landscaping was expensive. You're probably talking about another 20 grand out of pocket. So I did what I know how to do to lower the expenses. I signed up for a bunch of credit cards on a run, which if I'm assuming what glory run means, what I think it means, I could be totally wrong here. I'm sure you guys will let me know, but I did that to lower the price. And that's why I made like $9,000 in credit cards, and that was paid for the appliances and the garage door opener and the window treatments. Fantastic. So yes, glory runs 100%. If you want the Schwab Platinum, I mean, why not? Like, I'm assuming you haven't already had a Platinum because, they have the product family rules now where Platinums are all considered the same, I believe. So double check that. But yeah, cards are meant to be signed up for. Once your credit is fairly established, I say sign up for whatever you can and use it, because it does get harder to play, but this money can really make a material enough signups, enough intro offers, enough multipliers, enough bank bonuses is enough to make a material difference in your life. It is for me 100%. Again, I just ran through how I use that. I should maybe make a larger video about that, but it's a tool. It's an income stream, in my opinion. So yes, go on your glory run. I wish you well and good hunting, sir. All right, Boxer Kid, last up. What can Chase do to be #1 again and beat or take away customers from Capital One and Amex, in your opinion? They can let American Express go, first of all. By that I mean, I hate these videos. I know why people do them. I'm not saying you're doing this, but the Platinum versus Sapphire Reserve is a bad comp, because the Amex Platinum, like it, love it or hate it, and we've talked about it quite a bit, it's doing its own thing. It's not trying to be the Sapphire Reserve. It's not trying to be the Venture X. It's its own business model. Yes, the other ones may be starting to copy the coupon book, but it's its own thing, right? And I don't think Chase, the Sapphire Reserve specifically, is going to touch the Platinum card to that way. Because right now you're fighting on two fronts. You're trying to catch American Express, who, to the Gen Z or millennial comment, is clearly far and away running away, or you're trying to defend off Capital One, who's coming after you. And if I would argue, if Capital One would stop scaring people with tri-merge credit pulls, people really hate that, and they would tweak their algorithms to say, hey, we'll approve a certain person for the Venture X who we maybe normally wouldn't, because they've opened credit cards and their profile's more matured, they could easily overtake Chase as far as Venture X popularity, things like that. So what should they do? Well, I'd look across the full lineup. If you're going to rely on the travel portal, and they clearly, as the Sapphire Rumors have shown, they're trying to do more vertical integration and push people to the portal, so be it. I think pay yourself back was a feature that, of course, they introduced in the pandemic, but I think they should bring it back to the levels it was at before, was 1.5x. You could redeem ultimate reward points to cover off the annual fee, and you could redeem it towards select purchases. Like groceries was a category for the longest time because people weren't traveling. That was a game changer, and that gives you a whole nother way to look at and use Chase cards. You didn't mention Citi, but especially when Citi's just said, hey, you can't redeem 1-to-1 on the Strata Premier anymore if you're cashing out. Well, Chase, I'll offer you 1.5 cash back if you want, especially when we just looked at the card, the rumors, at least, and the rumors are less about a travel-heavy card, which would be more so American Express, I think, and more about a lifestyle card, make it easier. I think they should start looking at trying to, I know they have some, but, I think Chase Arena, doesn't Chase have Oracle, the old Oracle Stadium where like Warriors played is now Chase or something, and they've got special spots. You should probably look past airport, continue on your airport lounge journey, but build out cooler things like that within stadiums. That'll probably keep the millennials happy. The partnerships and the coupons probably aren't going to go away, so I would look to the other cards and what else can I do. I think it's time to make the Freedom Unlimited 2X card. You could put a spend cap on it throughout the year if you wanted to, maybe. Make it high, but you could do it because of the portal. Maybe you don't want to do unlimited. You could do it. The Freedom Flex, I think, needs to go away from rotating categories to a choose your own category. It's how it originally started. It wasn't like a choose your category. I think it was more akin to like the custom cash, where if you swiped it enough times, they would calculate what your top is. I think you should go back to what the customized cash is. Let the person pick, move up the cap. Bank of America and U.S. Bank both have $2,500 caps. You're still sitting at $1,500. They probably need another product in the mix to just generally get excitement back, because I don't think you're covered off against the gold card. So I guess ideally you've got to move, if you're going to increase the fee on the Sapphire Reserve, then you've also got to do something to the Sapphire Preferred, so the Sapphire Preferred can adequately defend off the gold card and the Saver card, because right now it really can't. Because would you really tell me, aside from renting a car, you would take the Sapphire Preferred over the Saver card? I think I'd take the Saver card, because you get groceries in the mix. People like groceries. You get entertainment in the mix, and it's not all limited through the Chase Travel Portal. So you need something to cover off Saver. You need something to cover off gold. Doesn't have to be 4X back, because you're charging significantly less at $95. But you're probably moving that card up to, with Sapphire Preferred, up to $150. Give me groceries everywhere. Just make it 3X groceries. I think that's fine. Give me 3X entertainment. Gas, It would be nice if they did gas, but again, they limited that to the Freedom and Flex. But then you've got Citi over there as well. So I think those are the ones you have to cover off, and that's probably how you do it. You let Amex go, be luxurious. You fight the Venture X, and you fight the Gold Card, and you fight the Saver Card. Even Citi to a degree, because if Citi ever figured it out, they'd be after you. But pay yourself back was a huge feature that I think they kind of gave up on, or just kind of let die. That would be a game changer in its own right. Covering off those few multipliers, making the Sapphire Preferred stronger. Yes, it'll cost more, but it'll cost more, and you still have your transfer portal. You still have pay yourself back. You still have primary CDW. You still have, being able to transfer points to Hyatt, Marriott, and United, all that kind of stuff. I'd give the Sapphire Preferred a few passes to lounges every so often, stuff like that. Or maybe I'd bring in, the last thing I'll say is that you could look at bringing in a relationship tier, make it worth it to have more money with them like Bank of America does. I don't think you add more multipliers because your cards are fairly competitive now-ish, but you could start to unlock benefits for if I have more money with you, I get better things. Maybe I get guest passes at certain tier amounts. I get unlimited passes, what have you. I get upgrade credits or things like that at various hotels. Like stuff like that could work maybe, I think. But yeah, I would let the Platinum go. The Platinum does its own thing. I've never seen the Sapphire Reserve as a competitor, so it can definitely be done. But at the same time, remember, Chase is the biggest bank in the States by far. So if I'm Chase, I'm fine. I don't want more of you. I want more of them, and them is fine. Just showing Kevin Hart and Steph Curry in a commercial. So I don't think any of that will happen, but those would be game changer things, I think, that no one else really does or does well. So there you go. So anyways, that is the Q&A for this month. Thank you so much for writing in. Of course, if you want more answers, you just want to yell at me about the president or whatever else, you can find me down below. Happy to chop it up with you. But of course, if you liked it, drop me a thumbs up down below. If you found it particularly interesting, consider subscribing to the channel. So we're posting content just like this every single week. And of course, right back here every Sunday with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. And of course, every single day over on profitfulcontent.com, which is the channel's blog, always linked down below for you, as well as on the channel homepage. Not only latest news stories, we have plenty of bank promotions, some from Chase, Capital One, Bank of America, you name it. Of course, credit card offers as well, so if you want to get that Venture X or the Platinum, we got you covered. But anyways, guys, that'll do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you very soon in the next one.